Hey y'all, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you guys spending a few minutes with me today, but the time has come. We finally have the quarterly Bud Light Anheuser-Busch reports. It's not all good news if you're pro boycott, but honestly, in my opinion, I think what we've got here, whether their position is about what's to be expected. I know we're talking about AB InBev. It's a worldwide company. America, of course, can make a difference, but you're not going to shut this company down. And I don't think anybody ever expected that, right? I don't really know what the end game was when this all began, other than just switch beers. It's not that hard to pick a different beer that's not out there expressing that they think you're an idiot. You know what I mean? That's not out there trying to market alcohol directly to children. That's not out there replacing women's jobs with Dylan. You know? We didn't know where it was going to take us when we started. We just knew it was the right thing to do. Okay? And if you agree with that, go ahead and hit the like button already. I usually don't ask at the beginning. I usually ask at the end. But guys, we need these videos to spread this word. But in this video, I'm going to give you 3, maybe 4 articles, depending on how fast I can get through them. I know most people don't watch to the end, which is something that I'm hurting for. I need some more watch time. So maybe this once give me a chance and watch to the end. I kind of get warmed up and better as it goes anyways, in my opinion, you know. And I like to go through multiple articles when I can of the same topic, because then I can give you guys a fair perspective, right? I'm not just going to pick one article that aligns with what I like the most or whatever, you know what I mean? I try to give you guys the most and just tell you what it says and then give you my opinions. And so, with that in mind, we're going to start off with the New York Times. Fall in Bud Light sales puts dent in beer makers' earnings. Anheuser-Busch InBev is struggling in the United States after a conservative-led boycott of Bud Light, leaving other brands in the company's portfolio to pick up the slack. It's something that everybody seems to say in all their articles, that it's a conservative boycott. I appreciate that this one says conservative-led boycott. It kind of lends that there are some people that aren't conservatives that are actually boycotting as well. We know that, for example, there's a group of gay bars in Chicago that have quit selling Anheuser-Busch products completely, you know, which is even more principled than just switching off of Bud Light, in my opinion, honestly. And I can appreciate that. Anheuser-Busch InBev, the global beer-making giant, on Thursday reported a sharp drop in sales and profit in the United States, as it counted the cost of a conservative-led boycott of Bud Light after the company's collaboration with Dylan. Anheuser-Busch said that its revenue in the United States fell more than 10% last quarter. Good job, everybody. That's fantastic. And that's versus the same period last year, primarily due to the volume decline of Bud Light. Operating profit at the U.S. unit dropped by nearly 30%. So what that indicates to me is that they've given away 10% less than what they sold last year in that quarter, and at the same time made 30% less dollars. So what they've been doing, what we know, is that they've been basically trying to give their volume away just for cents on the dollar, like what I personally witnessed when I went to a baseball game last month, that they were selling Bud Light and Budweiser cans for $5 when everything else was $11 and up. So they've been just, pushing it. And like I've said in other videos, I believe that for that reason that I witnessed, when baseball season ends, because you got to consider there's all the minor league teams and the major league teams and college and everything where everybody's buying beer, and those games are played like daily. So when that ends, their volume is going to drop even more. And that'll happen at the end of September. And I'll add that in a comment from my video yesterday, somebody mentioned that they can't continue to maintain giving away their beer for free like this. The net loss is eventually going to have a bigger impact. And so what they've been doing is trying to, in my opinion, save these numbers for these reports to look better, to help their stock from crashing. It's what they should do, I guess, but it's all in retrospect for nothing, considering all they had to do is just not do this partnership in the first place, and then not come out and insult their their customers and then not apologize and then do everything that they've done basically up to now and treat people like they're idiots. The only promise that we've got from Anheuser-Busch is that they're going to triple their marketing efforts, because they think that marketing to the sheep will make the sheep come back. Well, we're not sheep. That's why we switched off of your beer to a tune of 30% sales drop. You're welcome. Bud Light was dethroned by Modelo Especial as the nation's top-selling beer in retail sales in June. Constellation Brands, which sells Modelo in the United States, reported 7.5% growth in beer volume in its most recent quarter, which ended on May 31st. Bud Light has been losing market share because of the backlash. Anheuser-Busch noted, however, that the share of sales of its brand in the United States has stabilized by the end of the quarter. Well, yeah, it's stabilized at 75% of what it was before the year before. There's a permanent 25% drop-off is what it's been averaging, at least. Sometimes even higher on the weekly. Sales of the conglomerate's other beers in other countries helped bolster its results. And that's something that we can't control. This is an American boycott. Other countries can go buy this beer if they want to. From what we can control, we're doing a great job. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody trick you. We're doing a great job, and continue. Keep it up. It's a whole new wave of culture that's saying, look, it's 2023. What you're saying is old. We don't care. Get over it. Keep it to yourself. It's not that hard to figure out that we just want to be left alone like you. Who's we? Who's you? I don't know. You figure it out and think about it. So let's go over and check out this other one from the Daily Mail. Anheuser-Busch lost a staggering $390 million in second quarter as Bud Light sales to retailers plunged 14% in wake of brand's partnership. The parent company blamed the volume decline of Bud Light for its drop in revenue in its second quarter. The figure showing that total U.S. revenue dropped by 10.5% in the April to June period compared to a year earlier. The world's largest brewer said Thursday that sales to U.S. retailers had plunged 14%, adding that it had been underperforming the industry. For the second quarter in 2022, Anheuser-Busch $2.73 billion worth of beer to retailers, but for the second quarter of 23, sales dropped to $2.35 billion, a slump of $390 million in a year. And they're supposed to be growing year over year too. So not only did they not hit last year's mark, which was not their goal was higher than that, they missed it by $390 million. I don't know the history of boycotts in America, but I gotta say that this might be up there with some of the top ones as far as dollars affected. This is measurable right here and notable, right? Holy crap. Okay, so then let's jump over to this third article from Newsweek. Anheuser-Busch gets good news despite tanking Bud Light sales. Anheuser-Busch received some good news this week as it topped analysts' earnings estimates in the second quarter of 2023 despite the ongoing boycott. During an earnings call on Thursday, Anheuser-Busch InBev reported a global revenue increase of 7.2%. Additionally, the company reported earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization of 5%. Which beat analyst predictions of 0.4%, the Financial Times reported. The earnings call on Thursday came as conservatives continue. Okay. See, every time they say conservatives continue, just noting, every time they say conservatives continue. I don't know why they do that, other than when a non-conservative reads it, they say, oh, I'm against the conservatives doing. The conservatives doing, I'm against that. It's invoking a reaction. And it's honestly not letting people read the story and make their decision on their own volition when they do this stuff. So it's annoying to me, and I'm just pointing it out because they do it every single time. And lastly, here's one from CNN Business. Bud Light controversy cost parent company about $395 million in lost U.S. sales. The world's largest brewer is counting the cost of being swept into a controversy over Bud Light in the United States. AB InBev said Thursday that U.S. revenue fell 10% in the second quarter as sales of its top brand slumped. Sales to U.S. retailers declined by 14%, underperforming the wider beer industry, primarily due to the decline as the volume of Bud Light it sold, the company said in a statement. And the thing about that is you can literally see the numbers where it drops off from Bud Light. That decline literally jumps over to Coors Light and Miller Lite. It's pretty funny to see how those numbers can correlate so like immediately, so directly. Just goes to show how easy it is to pick a beer just a couple feet, pick up the case a couple feet over, or just stop drinking completely, honestly. Revenue fell $395 million in North America during the period compared to the same time a year ago. That figure included sales in Canada, where revenue rose, suggesting the slump was isolated to the United States and that the losses on Bud Light may have been even greater. America's former longtime number one beer has been hit by backlash from the right-wing media. See, every time, every article, right-wing, conservative. It's just like I said. They want people to read that. When a non-conservative reads that, they're checking this out for the first time. Oh, it's a conservative thing. Oh, it's a right-wing thing. Well, I'm against those people, so I'm against this. And then they go and get the talking points. Start labeling you an ist, right? Of sort. So it's disappointing, right? It's super disappointing that people can't look into this and try to understand. And it's coming from the people that want you to understand them. You know what I mean? They want you to change everything about you so that you can understand them and use their proper names and whatnot. When you just want to be left alone. And now they want to call you something because you don't want to buy beer. It's very... It's very synonymous with cult-like behavior. I'll just leave it at that, really. Have some of the... I'll actually, instead of leaving it at that, I'll just say, you know what? Have some understanding that you're asking for. You know what I mean? That, you got to give respect to get respect. That's what that means. You come in acting high and mighty and demanding, and then you won't listen to somebody that you're being demanding of, and we ain't going to get very far. So, try having the understanding that you're asking for, leading by an example, treating people the way that you want to be treated, and realizing that not everybody has the same background as you. So somebody asking a question or whatever doesn't mean they believe what they're asking even. They're searching, and we're all constantly searching. That's the path to wisdom, is to be understanding and silent and listen sometimes. So, I don't know. With that, you guys, I appreciate you stopping in. I usually film these at night, so it's more quiet and still around here in the neighborhood. I hope my neighbor mowing wasn't too much of a distraction. I hope it wasn't any distraction. I have good neighbors. I love everybody around here, so I don't get mad that I'm filming whenever they're working. I just appreciate your guys' understanding for being here. If you watched this far, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one.